Alright, so this is the week of May 24th through the 30th. This was a slow week. Summer is upon us, and that means slower sales. People are outside, including myself, hanging out with the kids, going out, taking vacations. People, what they're not doing is sitting inside buying stuff. Yes, you will still sell things, but you need to save money in the wintertime for the summer because things do slow down. And if I was predicting, I would say that this summer is going to be extra slow because everyone was cooped in last year. They spent a lot of money. Now they're going to be going out, maybe tightening up the belt a little bit, not buying as much. What does that mean? That just means do what you can control. Just buy as much as you can and list as much as you can. And you will sell those things. It will take some time. Maybe some of those things will sit around for a year. Maybe they'll just sit around till the winter time, and then people will be back inside buying things again. All right, so this week we had 31 sales. The average price was $26.44 for a total sale price, total not including shipping or anything like that, but just the sales, $819.65. First thing up was 3 items. They all went to the same person. The first one was an antique yellow and rose gold ornate leaf ring. It's nice. It reminds me of, I actually spoke about this one when I bought it just a few weeks ago. But it reminds me of like the Black Hills gold. If you don't know what that is, you can check that out. It's really popular. You will find those rings quite often. They also make other things, but I do find a lot of those rings and pendants. The next thing that sold to the same person was an antique yellow and purple iridescent glass ring. And the third one was an antique 10-karat gold-filled cameo ring. Gold-filled does not sell all that well. A lot of people don't even really know what it means. But it does have gold in it. It's whatever carat it is divided by the percentage that's filled in. Usually 1 to 10 or 1 to 20. This one, so all 3 of these, they sold for $181. Next up, we have a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. These sold for $27.99. Funny thing is that they came back and the guy has not contacted me, so I'll just sit on those for another 2 months or so, and if he doesn't contact me, I'll just put them back up again. Next, we have another 3 items that sold to the same person. The first one was now I don't even know what these are. I think I put them up as a pendant, but it's like 2 buckets. They're made out of jade, 2 buckets connected by a little link. Again, I don't really know exactly what they were. It's almost like a little pocket charm or something like that you would keep inside your pocket. The other 2 items was an antique Reynard earrings. This one was missing some rhinestones and needed to be fixed. And the last one was an antique gold flower rhinestone necklace. So all 3 of these sold the same person for $26.99. Looking at this, probably should have asked a little bit more. Speaking of charms that you put in your pocket, the next one up that sold was a Serenity prayer coin. This one sold for $5.59. Next, we have a vintage sterling silver flower stud earrings. These ones sold for $12.50. Next up, we had a little pin, Woodstock 50th anniversary. This one sold for $5. The next one I bought just about maybe 2 weeks ago. I spoke about it on one of the ones that I bought. It's an antique signed Jomez, Jomaz. It's a walrus brooch. I have 2 of them. One of them I've had for about a year or so, or actually longer than that, maybe 2 years. But this one sold right away for $30. The next one up is kind of interesting. It's a street sign, but the problem is and I think this is the reason I've had it for 3 years, is that I have it up for a Barbie sign, but it's not Barbie at all. It says Barry. So obviously someone found it. They wanted it. It is what it is. They haven't contacted me. And I sold this about 3 weeks ago, I think. This one sold for, that by the way, that sold for $20. Next up is an antique 1921 community silver plate pie server. It's like a little pastry knife. This one sold for 28 bucks. Again, I just bought this one maybe about a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago from the time that it sold. Next up is a vintage pair of alpaca silver earrings. This is little turquoise in there. You know, you find a lot of these. Alpaca is just another term for nickel silver. It literally has no silver in it whatsoever. This pair of earrings sold for $8. Next up, we have a Harley Davidson shirt. This is from Ukes, right up in Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is just over the border, right from me. Maybe like, I think it's about a half an hour away from here. I do collect Harley shirts. I'm wearing one right now. This one sold for $7.89. Next up, we have an antique Art Deco Belova wristwatch, a woman's wristwatch. I actually have two of these that are 14 karat and one of them that's 18 karat. But this one is from 1924. Beautiful watch. The only problem is that it was missing the crown, the piece that you wind up, you know, to make it go. But in any event, it's missing that, still needs to be repaired, and if you know anything about repairing watches, that can be pretty pricey, especially if you need to find that piece. This one sold for 50 bucks. Next up, we have a elephant statue. It's a little 4.5 inch paperweight elephant statue. This one sold for $28. Next up, we have a sterling silver purple and crystal handmade ring. This one sold for 16 bucks. All right, these next two sold the same person. There are it's two sets of, looks like they're fruit knives, like you would, you know, carve an apple or something like that. Both of these sold for $18.60. This next one, I've had watchers galore on this one, and I've had numerous offers, but for some reason they would always offer me like, I don't know, $5-7. But it's like a wall hanging thing. It's like a little baby cherub, like an angel cherub. And this one sold for 14 bucks. We have a pair of sterling silver hoop earrings. These ones you find all the time. Some of them, a lot of them, most of them do not sell, and I'll end up scrapping them. These ones actually did sell, and they sold for a decent price of 21 bucks. Speaking of a small amount of sterling silver, that generally doesn't sell. But again, I buy a lot of the little religious medals, is what they're called. And this one is St. Thomas the Apostle, and this one sold for 42 bucks. So in the last video, I talked about this watch. This watch, it's a Seiko. It's an homage to the Datejust. Beautiful one. It just didn't fit me. I would have kept it myself. But this one I sold originally for 80 bucks. The guy didn't fit him, so he sent it back. I relisted it and sold the next week for $97.75. Next up is we have what is known as an estate pipe, which is just a used tobacco pipe. You know, when you smoke out a tobacco pipe, it gets a little black residue in there. That is now known as an estate pipe. So this one, not a very good brand, but decent enough. Dr. Grabow sold for $27.99. Next, we have a rhinestone turtle brooch. Now I'm looking at this, and that is literally the title I gave it. Let me look really quick to see when this was put up, because that is a joke of a title. August 15th, 2016. No wonder it has taken over 5 years, or just under 5 years to sell. You don't have to be, you don't have to be a smith when it comes to making up titles. You don't have to focus that much energy, but maybe try it a little bit better than 3 words. Rhinestone turtle brooch. I could have added silver in there, anything, but this took 5 years to sell for $3.77. So, I'm just trying to be transparent here. That's kind of a joke, and I cannot believe that that's how long it took. Next up, we have a huge 15 karat citrine sterling silver ring. This one sold for $45. Next, we have I picked this up, put it up, and probably sold within the week. It was a vintage Christian Dior chain bracelet, and it sold for $80. Next up is vintage erasers. If you don't know about vintage erasers, they do sell. There's collectors for old pencils, and vintage erasers. This is by a brand named Diner, D-I-E-N-E-R. One of them is, it's not Popeye. I think it's a character off of, that's like in Popeye, because I have a few of them that were in that same lot that of Popeye. And then the other one is a Christmas tree. Both of them together, realize we're talking about erasers, pencil top erasers. These both combined sold for $12.58. When I bought them, I've bought 2 different lots of those, and so over the years I've probably had at least 100 of these things. So they do sell, and it's like another lot that I bought that was decent, that sells all the time. It's just little tiny amounts of money, just a lot of them all the time. Is I bought a lot of old dart flights, like the little pieces that go on the end of a dart, and those sell for, you know, between $5 and $3. You know, and I've had them up for, I don't know, maybe like 3 years now. But every week I'll sell 1 or 2. Next up is we have these are a pair of earrings. This is actually the last one of the week, seeing how slow this was. This is a pair of sterling silver earrings by this, I'm going to spell this out, Bayanahan, B-A-Y-A-N-I-H-A-N earrings. But one of the earrings was missing the post, you know, the little stud piece that goes in your ear. And even though it was missing the post, it still sold for $10. So that was a sweet little deal. It's good to, you know, just because something is broken doesn't mean that there's not somebody out there. I see a lot with that, with like sunglasses and stuff. Even if they're broken sunglasses, if they're a decent name, someone's probably, over time, someone's going to be looking for that. I do sell single earrings quite often, maybe like, I wouldn't say quite often, but at least 3, 4, 5 of them a year, where I'll just sell a single earring, which is, you know, it's kind of odd, but people do miss their, you know, they'll lose one, and then they go on here looking to replace it, and, you know, be that guy, be that dude selling single earrings. Single shoes I heard sell too. I don't buy shoes, but yeah, pro tip. All right, I will see you guys next week.